Ashley here with hearthookhome.com, and today we are going to learn how to crochet the small triangles stitch. This stitch is very quick to work up. It's really fun. It's a 2-row repeat in which the one row will do half double crochet 2 together with a chain, half double crochet 2 together with the chain, and then on the next row we'll place single crochets, chain, single crochets, chain, single crochet. So it is pretty easy. It does work up really fast. This is the stitch that I am using in my newest pattern, which is the color block sweater. Absolutely gorgeous, very quick to work up because these rows are so tall, and it's fun to make too. Let's go ahead and get started. To crochet the small triangle stitch, we are going to start with a multiple of 2 plus 1. Here I have 11 chains just because I'm using a very bulky weight yarn with a large hook. If you are making the gauge swatch for the color block sweater, you're going to want to use the worsted weight as stated in the pattern with the I 5.5 millimeter hook, and you're going to want to start with a chain of 25 stitches. This is just 11. If you're learning the stitch with me, 11 will suffice perfectly fine. So I'm going to find the second chain from my hook, and I'm going to go into the back bar, and I'm going to single crochet. I'm going to single crochet all the way to the end of the row. All right, so I've got my first row, which is just a single crochet row. Now we are going to set up the stitches for the following rows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 1 and turn. I'm going to place a single crochet in the first stitch right here. And I'm going to place a single crochet in the next stitch right here. Now I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to skip the next stitch, and I'm going to place a single crochet in the next. Maybe. Chain 1. Skip the next stitch, single crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip, single, chain 1, skip, single in the last. So now we have set up our row for the next row, which is going to be our half double crochet 2 together. These rows work so fast because it's such a fun and quick stitch to make. So I'm going to chain 2, and that is going to count as a half double crochet. I'm going to turn, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place a half double crochet 2 together, long stitch name, using the first 2 single crochets of this row. So if you look, this one right here, right above my fingernail here, that is a chain. That is not a single crochet. So we're going to use this stitch right here and this stitch right here, and we're going to half double crochet 2 together using these, leaving that chain open in the middle. So in order to do that, I'm going to wrap my hook. I'm going to pull up a loop in that first single crochet right here. So now I've got my 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to wrap it again, and I'm going to pull up a loop in that next single crochet right here. Just like that. Pull my yarn here. So now I've got my 5 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull through all of them very carefully. And then I'm going to chain 1 to close that stitch. Now I'm going to half double crochet 2 together using the same stitch that I just went into and the next single crochet. So we're not going to use this chain. On these rows, we never use the chain. If you're doing a row with the half double crochet 2 together, you always leave the chain open, okay? So I've done my chain to close the stitch. So I'm going to wrap my hook, go into the same one that I just came out of, 3 loops. I'm going to wrap it again. I'm going to go into the next actual single crochet, which is this one right here. That's my chain. This is my single, right? Got my 5 loops. I'm going to pull through all 5 and then chain 1 to close that stitch. Wrap it, go into the same one that we just came out of, wrap it again, go into the next single crochet, which is this one. Got my 5 loops. I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 5. Chain 1 to close the stitch. It looks like I've got 1 more of these half double crochet 2 together. So I'm going to go into this one, same one that I just came out of, wrap it, go into the next one. Got my 5 loops, pull through all 5, chain 1 to close the stitch, and now we've got this 1 stitch over here. We're just going to place a half double crochet. right there. So that is the end of our first half double crochet 2 together row. It's not too difficult. Let's do a couple more together. We do have to alternate this row with the next row. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to place a single crochet in this first stitch right here, very first stitch. So single crochet right there. Now we are going to do a single crochet in the next chain, which this is a chain right here, right? Do a single crochet right in there. Now we're going to chain 1. We're going to skip the actual half double crochet 2 together, which is this guy right here, and we're going to single crochet in the next chain space. You can tell the chain spaces because they have, let's take a look. You can tell the chain spaces because they have the little diagonal coming like this. Let me get my finger out of the way. It's got this little diagonal coming out. Those are your chain spaces. So you're never going to go into the actual top of the stitch. You're always going to go into those chain spaces on this row. So now that we've got that, we've done our chain 1. We're going to skip the actual half double crochet 2 together and single crochet in that next chain right here. Chain 1, go into the next chain right here and make a single crochet. Chain 1, go into the next chain right here. We're going to chain 1 and we're going to place a single crochet in the top of this turning chain. So this second chain right here that we chained when we started that previous row. Right there. Single crochet. So that is our 2 row repeat. So now we're going to do another half double crochet 2 together row, and we'll alternate these 2 rows back and forth and back and forth. Let's do 2 more rows together. We're going to chain 2, which counts, turn, half double crochet 2 together using the very first single crochet, which is this one right here, wrap and go into the next single crochet. Remember, this is a chain, this is a single. It might help you when you're working up a pattern, especially the color block pattern, because that pattern is worked in rounds where we are joining and turning at the end of each round. So I have omitted this extra bit here on that color block sweater. What I've noticed is it might be helpful to you while you are learning this stitch. If you're making your single crochets here, you might place a stitch marker in one of the last single crochets of the row so that you can tell after you turn, okay, that's a single crochet, that's a single crochet, so that you're not confusing the chains with the singles if you need to. You don't have to, but if you're still learning and you're having a difficulty finding those single crochets, that could be something that could help you get that until you can recognize them just by looking once you get more comfortable with the stitch. So I'm doing my half double crochet 2 together all the way, going into the same one that I just came out of and the next single crochet. Chain 1, go into the last stitch with a regular half double crochet. Isn't that pretty? It's so pretty. Chain 1 and turn. We're going to half double crochet in the first single crochet in the first 2 stitches. Sorry about that. Okay, now I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to single crochet in that chain. Chain 1. I'm going to single crochet in that chain. All the way to the end of the row. And I absolutely love how quick this works up. I am pulling this pretty tight. I will say that on the sweater itself, it is not this holey. It is a little bit holey, but it's really not as open as this looks here because I'm using such a large hook to demonstrate this stitch today. But absolutely gorgeous. This would make a beautiful washcloth or anything. It works up super fast. It'd be a great blanket pattern too, actually. So that may be something you're going to see soon on the Heart Hook Home blog. But I hope this helps. I hope you enjoyed this stitch, and I look forward to crocheting more with you soon. Thanks for watching.